Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Explain My Movie. Today we are going to explain the suspense horror movie named It, Chapter 1. This movie was released in 2017. This movie was a super hit and became the highest grossing film of that time. This movie is based on Stephen King's best-selling novel It. This story is divided into 2 chapters. In this movie Pennywise the dancing clown is shown to be killer. Let's know the story of this movie without delay. The movie started in 1988 with a small village called Derry. We see Billy and his younger brother Georgie. When it was raining heavily outside, Billy made a paper boat for Georgie. Georgie comes out of the house with a paper boat and starts floating in the water. But after some time, that paper boat drifts away in a gutter. Georgie looks into the gutter and sees a clown inside. The clown tells Georgie his name is Pennywise and says that he will return his boat to him. Pennywise calls out to take his paper boat, and Georgie walks over to take his boat. But Pennywise opens his mouth and bites Georgie's hand. Georgie cries in pain and tries to run away from there. But Pennywise pulls Georgie into the sewer and kills him and eats him. And people think that Georgie might have fallen into the sewer and been swept away. After this, the story moves forward a few months. We see that today was the last day of the children at Derry High School and the summer holidays were about to take place. We have seen main character Billy. Billy has 3 friends and one of them is Richie, who jokes all the time, Stanley and Eddie, who are both quite timid, and that's why the group is called the Loser Club. These 4 talk about what should be done during the holidays. Billy is not yet ready to accept that his brother Georgie is dead. Billy was thinking about finding Georgie on summer vacation. We also know that many more children like Georgie have gone missing in the past few months. A boy named Harry is now bullying Toulouse's group members with his group. But the police are standing nearby, so they leave them. Then we see that some girls are seen bullying a girl named Beverly in the school bathroom and they say many bad words to her. In the end, they also pours the wastewater over Beverly. After they leave, Beverly leaves school and meets a boy named Ben on the way. Ben is new to this town and he has no friends. Beverly talks to Ben very nicely and even signs his yearbook, which makes Ben fall in love with Beverly. After this we see the final main character Mike, who works in a meat house with his uncle. He is given the task of shooting sheep today, but Mike can't do it because he doesn't like killing animals. After his uncle explains to him that there are 2 types of people in the world, those who shoot with guns in their hands and those who stand and die in the place of sheep, decide what you want to become. Next we see that Billy tells his father that he has built a small model of the town's sewer system, which suggests that Georgie would have flown down the sewers into the barrel area, but his dad tells him that Georgie is now dead and you have to accept it. There we see Mike, who was standing outside a house to deliver meat. When Mike looks towards the gate of the house, he sees fire and smoke coming out of the house. And screaming for help is heard from home, and sees some burnt hands coming out of the door of the house. He is very scared. Pennywise was showing all this to Mike to intimidate. Still there, Henry gets in the car with his friends and starts abusing Mike, and he tells Mike to stay away from Derry Town, because Mike was black in color. Now Stanley was reading the book, but he could not read it properly, and his father was disappointed. Stanley goes to keep that book in the office. There was a painting of a woman with a crooked face, which Stanley is very afraid of. But his condition is bad when the woman disappears from the painting and suddenly appears in front of him. At that time he was very afraid and he runs away from there. Ben was sitting in the library reading about the history of the town, where he learns that every few years there is a major accident in Derry Town, mostly children are killed. After reading this, he gets scared and closes the book, then his eyes fall on a red balloon. He chases after that balloon and reaches the deserted basement of the library. Suddenly a beheaded child is seen there. That beheaded child starts chasing him and Ben runs away in fear, but as soon as he comes out, he finds Henry's group, who start harassing him by holding him. After this, Henry takes out the knife and starts writing his name on Ben's stomach with that knife. Ben defends himself with a forceful kick to the face and starts running down the slopes in the woods. Henry and his friends chase Ben angrily and they all part ways in the woods. Just then, Patrick, Henry's friend, hears some noise coming from a drainage pipe built in the middle of the forest. He goes inside that pipe, lighting a fire with the help of spray and lighter, and starts looking for Ben, but he sees many rotten children inside and they were all moving towards Patrick. Then Pennywise suddenly comes behind him. Pennywise killed and eats him. On the other side we see Billy and his friends. Billy comes with his friends to find Georgie, but in Sever they just find the shoe of a girl who went missing a few months ago. Billy decides to go inside but his friends refuse him. Just then, Ben runs to Billy and his friends. They all help Ben, seeing him in this condition, and go to a nearby medical store to get first aid items. But they don't have much money to buy all this. There he sees Beverly, so he asks her for help. Just then, Beverly keeps the pharmacist confused and these people leave the store without paying any money. And put Ben's ointment on it. Beverly also comes in the same way and Billy falls in love with her. Billy tells her that they are going to swim in the pond tomorrow morning and she can join him if she wants. Later, Beverly returns to her home, where her bastard father beats her and praises her hair, causing an upset Beverly to go to her room to cut off all her hair and flash it. The next day the loser group goes for a bath in the pond. And make a plan to jump from a very high place, but no one dares to jump down. Just then, Beverly comes there and jumps right into the water. Seeing him, everyone else also jumps into the pond and has fun in the water. When everyone comes out after taking a shower, Eddie notices an old book by Ben about the accidents in his town's dairy. Ben tells everyone that in particular time people, especially children, are missing in the dairy. Now everyone starts getting interested in him. So they all reach Ben's house, where Ben has put photos of all the accidents in Derry on his wall. Ben reveals that most of the incidents in the town are connected to a well house. But he doesn't know where it is. Now Eddie says that he is getting late to go home and leaves from there. On the way he sees a very old and scary house, seeing which Eddie gets a little scared and drops all his medicines on the road. He starts taking medicine, but suddenly a very scary looking man comes there. Seeing that, Eddie starts running fast. The man also follows him. This was Pennywise and he invites Eddie to his side. But Eddie runs away. When Beverly comes to her house, she finds a postcard in her bag with a poem written for her that she loves. But Beverly doesn't know who wrote this poem out of all those boys. Now we look at Beverly. She hears some sounds coming out of the basin and she bends over to look at him. Inside he could hear the sound of several children calling Beverly downstream. Now Beverly starts measuring its depth by putting a measuring tape in the basin, but with the tape, his hair stained with blood starts coming out with that tape, and those hairs start pulling Beverly into the basin, and finally the blood comes out of the basin. The fountain of blood starts flowing and Beverly and the entire washroom turn red with blood. Beverly starts screaming. Hearing his voice, his dad comes there and asks, "Why are you screaming so much?" Actually, this blood does not see to his dad and he goes away calling Beverly crazy. Now it was Billy's turn to be afraid. During the night, he sees his younger brother Georgie running in the house. Billy follows him to the basement. He sees Georgie flying in the air. Georgie tells Billy to go with him, that he too will float in the air like him. But this was also an illusion of Pennywise, who runs towards Billy, but Billy gets out of here. The next day Beverly invites all the friends to her house and shows her the bathroom. They could see all the blood. After this, everyone together starts cleaning the bathroom. Meanwhile, Ben sees that Beverly is not interested in him but in Billy, and his heart breaks. Beverly even felt that the poem Billy had written for him. But that poem was written by Ben for Beverly. But when Beverly asks Billy about the poem, Billy says he doesn't know how to write a poem. After the cleaning is complete, everyone tells each other that they see scary things and a creepy clown. Ricky was the only one with whom no such incident had happened till now. Just then, his eyes fall on Henry's car and he also sees Mike's bicycle there. They understand that Henry must be troubling Mike and they come to his aid. Henry and his friends were torturing Mike too much. At the same time, Mike also sees Pennywise, who was shaking someone else's shredded hand through the bushes. Just then, Billy and his friends start throwing stones at Henry and his friends. Stone pelting starts from both sides, due to which Henry's friends leave him and run away. After this, they also include Mike in their losers club. Mike also tells that he also sees a creepy clown. Now Ben says that there is a reason behind all this because every 27 years there is an accident in Derry town in which many people disappear or die, and behind all this, the same clown is definitely behind, and he shows them the same thing that scares them the most. Like, for Eddie, the sick man, the woman painting the infection Stanley, also tells Mike that his parents had died in a building and had narrowly escaped. When asked, Richie also tells that he is most afraid of clowns. After this they all go to Billy's garage and view the saver map of Derry through a projector, and they learn that every accident happened near some sewer. Means the clown travels through the sewer, and all this sewer is connected to that well house, and this well house is the one that he was scared to see. He tells them that we have nothing to do with all this. Eddie tells everyone that we are kids and we should have fun in summer vacations and not all this. But after that the projector starts running on its own, in which everyone sees Pennywise, which also comes out of the screen. Everyone gets terrified to see this, but as soon as the garage door opens, Pennywise disappears. Billy tells everyone that we should go inside that well house and find Georgie. Initially no one was prepared for this, so Billy goes there alone and everyone else follows him. Eddie then says that someone should stop outside to watch over the house. To which everyone raises their hands. Now just Billy, Richie and Eddie go in. Richie finds a missing poster of his own outside which frightens him, but Billy tells him to ignore it because it's not real. Pennywise starts making them all face the different fears, which causes everyone to see the thing they fear the most, as Billy sees Georgie, who was asking him for help, but Billy can't do anything. And Richie sees a lot of clowns in a room. The same Eddie, frightened by the woman, falls down from the first floor and breaks one of his arms. Just then, Pennywise comes closer to him to scare Eddie out of the freeze, and we learn that the more frightened Pennywise's victim is, the tastier he will be to eat. That's why Pennywise was passing the time with all this for so long. Richie and Billy overcome on their fare. Just then, Pennywise runs to eat them, but Beverly put a rod in his head. But this does nothing for Pennywise, and he rips off Ben's stomach with his claws. Later, if everyone in the loser group stands together, they do not feel much fear. As Pennywise starts to return, Billy follows him and finds that Pennywise has gone inside his base, the well. All the children immediately come out of that house. Eddie is then taken away by her mother and scolds all the children for breaking her hand. Despite all this, Billy says that he has seen the well in which Pennywise went. And next time he'll go there, but now no one wants to support Billy because they're all scared. Richie also says that Billy will have to be mindful because his brother Georgie is dead. Hearing this, Billy punches Richie. After this, all the people leave the group and go to their homes. After some time Henry is with his friends outside his house and he was playing with a real gun. With that he wanted to kill the cat, but then Henry's dad comes there, after which we know that his dad is a police officer and Henry has his gun. He takes a gun from Henry and starts shouting at him and makes his condition worse by firing bullets near his leg. After some time, Henry also sees a red balloon that was tied to a letterbox. Inside, Henry finds the same knife he had lost in the woods. He comes to his house where his father was sleeping. Then Pennywise comes to the TV and starts provoking Henry, and Henry kills his own father after coming to Pennywise's provoke. On the other hand, Beverly is leaving the house to meet Billy. But his dad stops her and he has found the card with the poem, which makes him angry that Beverly is having an affair someone's. When his dad wanted to take advantage of Beverly, he starts abusing her. But Beverly kicks him hard on the head and comes to hide in the bathroom. Her dad entered in bathroom while breaking the back gate. And after Beverly hits him by pulling the toilet light on his head. But she would do something else. Pennywise comes before him and picks her up. When Billy comes to his house, it doesn't take long for him to understand that Beverly has been picked up by Pennywise. Billy tells this to all his friends and they all stand up to save Beverly and go back to the same house. But Henry sees them all going inside. Now all of them enter inside the house and grab the rope to go to the well and start landing in it one by one. At some distance they find the tunnel which was the way to go into the sewer. But before Mike can even get down, then Henry attacks him. Henry thinks of giving Mike a headshot from his bolt gun. But Mike fights back and pushes Henry into the same well. Mike also now comes down with the help of the rope along with the rest. Inside the channel, Beverly regains consciousness and sees that in front of her is a large garbage along with the bodies of all the children that killed by Pennywise. After that she sees an old circus box, on which was written Pennywise the Dancing Clown. The box then opens and Pennywise shows Beverly his amazing horror dance performance. Then he comes out and grabs Beverly's throat, but now Beverly was not afraid of him at all, due to which Pennywise unable to eat Beverly. Then he opens his mouth to shows her the dead light of his mouth, after seeing which Beverly also becomes hypnotized and starts floating in the air. The rest of the children face their fear and reach the place where they see Beverly floating in the air. They all grab her and bring her down, but she doesn't regain consciousness, so Ben takes a chance and kiss her and possibly Beverly regains consciousness, and now she also knows that the love poem was written by Ben, but it's no use. Because Billy had already won the heart of Beverly. Children understand that Pennywise is actually taking advantage of people's fears. He makes their fear his strength. Beverly was not afraid of Pennywise, so Pennywise could not kill Beverly. Billy was just able to faint. Now Billy sees Georgie in front of him, who was talking emotionally to him. Billy was crying a lot after hearing all these things of his brother. But now Billy understands that Georgie is now dead and gives Georgie a headshot from bolt gun. Georgie's body starts to ache. And it slowly transforms into Pennywise. After which for the first time Pennywise attacks Billy and catches Billy and tells the rest of the kids that they just let Billy eat him, then he will go to sleep for 27 years and you all can live your life, but someone, even the loser group member, doesn't give up on Billy and together they face Pennywise. In order to escape, Pennywise starts showing them visuals of their fear from behind. But now the children are not bothered by these things because all of them had already come out of their fear. In the end, he also takes the form of Beverly's father, but she puts a rod into his mouth. After that, Pennywise starts trembling with fear from the children because now he feels that he will die of hunger. Finally, Pennywise goes back to sleep in his cave for 27 years after being afraid of the children. Billy then finds a yellow raincoat from a pile of rubbish and corpses that belong to his brother. After a few days, all of them are sitting together. Summer was just about to end. Beverly tells her friends about her dream, in which they all grew up and were in the same sewer. Billy says that if Pennywise is not dead and comes again after 27 years, we will all face him together and finish him off. Together they cut their hands with a piece of glass and take a blood oath. After this, everyone starts going to their home one by one. Beverly tells Billy that she is leaving town because she will now be with her auntie, and with this chapter 1 ends here. So friends, I hope that you must have liked this video and movie. So like and share this video and show your support by subscribing to the channel. In the next chapter, we will see what other exploits Pennywise does when it comes after 27 years. If you want me to make a video on the part as soon as possible, then write it chapter 2 in the comment.